Okay, so when we're dealing with emotion, we're dealing with the ability to be able to warm up emotion so that we have the capabilities of being responsive within that emotional depth and the emotional range. So when you look at my emotions triangle, you've got your thoughts, ideas, then you've got your inclinations, you have your feelings, then you have your deep feelings, then you have your emotions. We're talking about the ability to warm up our emotional lives, the what is beneath our rib cage. Typically the emotions will come from, and it is the gut to gut responses. Now look, my name is Simon Blake. I've written over 6 acting books. I've studied over 8,000, yes, 8,000 acting classes, and all kinds of stuff. Also, there's an incredible community on emotionalpreparation.com. So look, this is an incredible topic because what we're dealing with is the ability to be able to warm up emotion. We're dealing with the ability to understand that if we want our emotion to be activated within our acting interaction, our acting scenes, our imaginary circumstances, our given circumstances, we're going to have to be able to warm our emotions up first and then be responsive with them to be able to have them go into our acting scenes. This is incredibly important. When we do this, we're going to achieve what is the desired emotional range within our acting. We're going to be able to, just by the mere element of receiving, be able to activate those emotions into interaction. We're looking to be able to literally take the emotional range of the frequency and be able to put it into the acting interaction. So if we're looking at like incredulous or joyful or jubilant or invigorated, we're able to get into that, the spark of that. We're going to look to be able to get that fully activated within ourselves. Then we are looking to be able to have that by ways of receiving the other actor, where it's brought into the realm of the acting interaction, the improvisation. We're looking to be able to have the leeway of being able to bring our emotion into our acting scenes in an improvised way, that which is where we're making adjustments to the other actor. Now, this is incredibly important because we're working to be able to do this in a way that is going to cause the effect of the emotion to come up authentically, with authenticity, with the authentic resonance, and it's going to come through the actual interaction. This means that we're not going to be at all in a state of, well, we are going to be in a state of performance in a way because we're going to be responsive. And our responses, including our inclinations, our feelings, our awarenesses, are all going to be sparked and stimulated as we receive the other actor. Now, what that does to you is it allows this whole thing to develop where you have a synergy within your acting scenes, and you're going to be able to achieve, incredible depth. But if we don't warm up that emotional depth first, we're not going to likely be able to trip upon that emotional depth just through the acting interaction. So look, typically what actors will do is that they will sit and they'll do an emotional preparation. They'll get a spark of feeling in their emotional preparation. They will have a concentration that goes beyond their thoughts or ideas and other people's thoughts and ideas, and they will get a feeling. And then they will go into their work with that feeling. And that feeling will be what will be a tinglination or an inclination. They will have the tingulation of the feeling within that emotional range. And then they will start to feel little sparks of that happening. And then they will typically, as the actor, they will literally go into an acting scene once they feel the inclination. But that's not what we're doing here. What we want to do is we want to go beneath the inclination. We want to go beneath the feeling. We want to go beneath the tingulation. We want to not only be able to get ourselves ready to be spontaneous, alive, and genuine with the other actor. We want to be able to have all of those things plus the addition of emotion. Emotion is going to be that you're going to dive deeper than probably what you think that you're going to need to go into. And then you're going to be able to tap into the essence of that emotion. Now I have 800 emotions. Uh, Way more than that, actually. There's a book that I've written that has 2,200 emotions. And there's hundreds of emotions on the website of Emotional Preparation, which are incredible because when you go through the work, you want to be able to reference yourself with references of that emotion in other pieces of theater scenes, in other monologues, audition pieces, in other songs, so that you can make sure that you're actually vibrating within yourself at a depth level where you're not only you're not only getting an inclination, or you're not only getting the spontaneity of that and seeing if that flies with the other actor. You want to be able to ground and root yourself within the emotion. Now, the emotion, that means that you're literally warming up the emotion. Now, this is far different than what most people and most actors will do when they're doing emotional preparation. Most emotional preparation, a lot of, I mean, I've seen over 8,000 acting classes being less than 10 feet away from, closer than 10 feet in many cases, of people doing and trying to work on trying to get their emotions activated. And I'll tell you, most of it's a fail. And a lot of times they'll work, but sometimes it will just trip upon the ability to be able to work. Now, when I started teaching and I started pointing out what was not working with the acting and this, then there was some changes. And of course, with other teachers, there were some great things from other teachers that would be able to do this. But the actual technique of being able to get the emotion activated is why I consider the emotional preparation technique, the last step of it has to be activation, personal activation of your emotion. So you want to be able to, and there's been incredible teachers that have told students to do this, and it's been very difficult for people to be able to achieve. And that is, you want to be able to saturate yourself within the depth of that emotional range. So let's say that we have despair. We take ourselves with the element of despair and we start remembering what's things that we've seen that have been despair to others. Now, the reason why we do that is because we want to make sure that when we find our own despair, that other people are going to relate to our despair. So we're in a situation where we want to double check ourselves. We're making sure that we're in the right emotional range. Do we actually have the type of despair that we're looking for? Or we have the other examples of other people when they felt despair? Now, is that real? Okay. Now we know that it's real. So now we can go beyond our logic of our idea. Then we go into our thoughts. We can double check it, go beyond our thoughts. Then we go into our inclinations. We go into our instincts. We're tapping into the ability to get in our instincts, understand now what's the kind of stuff what's 5 different ways to be able to make yourself or have yourself, or times that you've felt despair. Now, are these things that are real in your life? They could be. Typically, you want to also work with imagination. You want to also work with things that you can imagine that would put yourself into despair. Now, when you think about those things, when you spend time, when you resonate with that element of despair, are you going to be able to, or does it fall deeper? So when you're in that moment of your preparation, your emotional preparation, your memory recall, whatever you want to call activating your emotion, you want to make sure that you're in a range of which you know that you can literally feel it sinking deeper and deeper and deeper the longer you're in it. And this is where it gets very, very fun, where a lot of people are able to do improvisations, and it can be incredible and they can be fun. And sometimes the improvisations can go very comedic. Sometimes they can go very seriously comedic. Sometimes they can be a dramatic comedy. Sometimes they can be very intense with drama, with just a range of intense emotions going back and forth. And this can happen through the interaction. So you can step down the emotion through the interaction, which is part of the expanding of emotions and the expanding of an acting scene and the ability to have synergy within your acting. However, if you're able to, which you are able to, put the focus on yourself so that you're self-activating yourself and you're making sure that you have 5 of your own ideas of what's something that means despair to you. Then you go and you try and go a little more personal. You try and get what's stuff that you could really activate within yourself. Then you see, does it sink a little bit deeper? You know that you're getting past the state of logic. You're getting past the state of intent, and you're going into the realm of emotion. The intent actually rests in your ideas and thoughts and other people's ideas and thoughts. So you're going to be looking at, in terms of the body's chakra system, you're looking at like the intent would be from the chin up, where you're catching yourself in a way that um, you're going to stay typically out of emotional interaction when you're only working off of intent. When you're able to sink through that, you get into the feelings, you got the inclinations working, you've got your deep feelings working, you've got stuff that starts to work in you. All of a sudden now you feel, that almost sometimes it will come in an emotional range will come in, and you'll be in doing the activation work, the ability to activate the emotion, and all of a sudden it will feel like you want to vomit, or you feel an effect of a little bit faint. Don't harm yourself. You want to be able to measure this, but you want to also invite the ability to recognize that you've just activated an emotion. When you get to those levels of the gut level, you've started to activate the emotion. And when you've activated the emotion, now you can start working within your emotional range. Now, here's the great thing. Now, the great thing is that now that you've done this personal work yourself, and you've worked to the level of being in your gut, in your emotion, where you're activated an emotion, now all you have to do is just simply go into the acting scene and start receiving the other actor. And you can be completely livid and lucid and relaxed, and know that your emotions already activated within you. And then what your goal at that point is, you just want to receive the other actor. And it just going to synergistically come right in. You just receive the other actor. You receive the other actor, and then all of a sudden, what they have going on mixes with what you have going on. And now the audience will start seeing this thing that's called dynamic. You've got this dynamic that will happen both internally, just within yourself, and then you've got the dynamics that will happen between you and the other actor. And there'll be contrasts and similarities that you're able to work off of. Now, if the other actor hasn't done that kind of depth of emotional preparation or emotional activation or emotional recall, whatever you want to call how you get your emotion, I don't care what you label it, you're going to be able to be in this place where you're going to have to trust that all you have to do is simply receive the other actor. Once you're able to receive the other actor like this, your whole work is going to completely, absolutely change. So, look, ask me some questions about this, and take this in. Feel free to listen to this again. Get yourself, when you're working this way, to have the depth that you really actually are, with this full authenticity. And this authenticity is going to be able to be at the gut level. Thanks.